Okay, I think I just need to do a very brief intro, yeah? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, good evening too.
Welcome to our SCAN webinar, which is our part 4 tonight. And we're glad to have Ms Verona Lee to be our speaker this evening. As a dietitian, of course, the topic is about diet. All right, so let me do a quick intro. Who is our speaker? Association, and she is actively involved in inpatient and outpatient care, including dietary counseling and nutritional support. Besides, Verona is also very actively involved in community projects such as conducting talks like this, workshops, including weight management. So ladies, you may be interested to hear from her next time. And also writing for magazines. So we are very pleased to have Ms Verona Lee with us this evening to share with us the topic of entitled Eat Healthy, Boost Immunity, as we are now going through the pandemic and MCO. Yeah. So shall I now pass the floor to Verona now?
Shall we start now?
Yeah, you can start now.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So I hope that you had your dinner, right? So without further something about nutrition, because if you watch or see the press conference by our Dr. Noor Hisham just now, today we have about 50 positive cases being reported. So it's in the decreasing trend, but no matter whether the MCO lifted or not later on, I guess nutrition is still something that we still need to carry on, maintain good nutrition, also to make sure that our immune system is working right every day. So today I will take you through a few points. The first, we will look into some overview about COVID-19 and its statistics, and also some signs and symptoms, risk factors, treatments, and of course we are going to talk about nutrients and nutrition and some myths and facts or some claims that you maybe heard before. And the last part is about some tips to boost or maintain. Any questions you can type in the chat later. I will address one by one after the session. Okay. So COVID-19 comes from coronavirus. I believe that everyone I believe everyone also very familiar with it now. Also, it comes from a big family of viruses that we previously know that from SARS, MERS, and now this COVID-19. But there's some slight difference because virus can mutate or can evolve over the time. So this is the worldwide statistic. Now we have more than 2 million populations in the world that have been diagnosed or been tested positive for COVID-19. So in Malaysia, this is the statistic yesterday. So we have more than 5,000 positive cases. Also today, another additional 50 over cases. And what are the signs and symptoms? WHO said that the symptoms usually when someone is required to be on quarantine, they need to be quarantined for 14 days. So the common symptoms include fever, cough, shortness of breath. And most of the time, 80% of the people can recover from the disease without any special treatments. So how can we recover from the disease? Purely from our immune system. But in some cases, they might need additional support because the infections can cause pneumonia or any other serious conditions or something like breathing difficulties and maybe require ventilation support. Usually the chances is about 1 out of 6. So what are the risk factors for severe disease and death? Usually those with immune compromised conditions, for example, elderly individuals, and some are in a higher risk one, for example, like those with chronic disease, from the death cases in Malaysia, 60% come from the category of the population that is above 60 years old or 70 years old. So elderly, high risk group, and another higher percentage come from those with NCDs, for example, like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, or the underlying chronic diseases, putting them at risk of severe disease and death. And other than that, those with asthma or people with HIV or immune compromised conditions, for example, undergo treatment for cancer, all these are the people that is at a higher risk. So how COVID-19 spread? Usually COVID-19, the coronavirus spread through 2 ways, mainly from the droplets. Also the droplets from the sneezing or coughing from someone that stand nearby to this fellow. Also, we will inhale all these the droplets with coronavirus into our body. Another way is when someone cough or someone sneeze without using any like face mask or something. Also, all these droplets can fall on the surface of objects. So, for example, like those high touch area, door handles, lift buttons, walls, or tabletop. So if we manage to touch it, so this is where we get the virus. So that is why we need to protect ourselves by maintaining good personal hygiene. So can it be treated? So WHO actually is launching the trials to test on a few different types of drugs that are already available in the market. But right now, all these drugs are being using for other treatment, for other diseases. So if we want to rely on the new drugs so they use the readily available drugs to do the trials or the study to find out whether it is helpful. But so far, why we can still see some people have been discharged from the hospital, has been successfully treated. All this because all these people, their immune system managed to fight back the disease. Right. So these are all different types of treatments that is ongoing, being tested as well. So one of these, this is called plasma therapy, where the plasma been extract from the people that successfully recovered from COVID-19, and they infuse into someone with severe disease conditions that's been treated in like ICU, all that, because in the plasma it contains antibody from this coronavirus. So here's come a question: can we boost our immune system through diet? Boosted to treat this coronavirus or COVID-19. Let's look at what is immune system. So immune systems, we have different levels in our body. The first lines of defense come from our the protections layer that you can see here, mainly made from our skin and also the mucus lining. So our saliva, tears, our stomach acids, and all the good bacteria that in our digestive tract, in different parts of the body plays a very important role to help us to protect us. So these first lines of defense is like the custom in the country. So whenever there's any foreigners that enter our country, they need to go through customs. So the customs officers that stays in the country that will need to screen through whether allow the visitors or all the foreigners to enter the country. So this is the first line of defense. So if someone that our second level of immune system will start working. So all the immune cells come from our lymph, nose, spleen, bone marrow, thymus, all these organs that we call them lymphoid organs. So if we look at the second level and the third level of immune system, so innate immune system is like the general police, police ronda, or the safety officers that we can see that they do the screening, all that throughout the countries. Also, this is the innate immune system. So innate immune systems is always present in the country or in our body, so they are readily to attack. So they are not that specific. So all these police or the police traffic, so-called like police traffic in the country, so these cells, they will help us to protect the body. So whenever they see anyone that commit crime, also they will try to protect the nations. Also protect our body. So this is part of the immune system. So if there's a very severe crime, also say like in our country, so it will go into this adaptive immunity. So this is usually stimulated by the exposure to microbe. They are more potent, so they are very specific. So, but if you can see here, innate immunity is very fast. Their reaction is very fast. It takes hours. But adaptive immunity, it takes days to respond. So because they need to come up with a very specific antibody cells. So that is why usually when someone is admitted for treatment for COVID-19, they need to stay in the hospital for a few days also. And if you see how our country do the testing for the people that is suspected to have COVID-19, actually testing the virus instead of testing the antibody, because the antibody in good health, maybe the antibody production is very fast. But if someone with immune compromised conditions, the immune system in the body might take time, can be days or months to respond to the virus that go into the body. Okay, so now today we will focus on three main immune-related nutrients that we always hear people say that, oh, you need to take these supplements and that supplements. So the first one, vitamin C. So I believe that vitamin C is very common. So everyone can get it from a pharmacy or even just a normal store. They could also sell vitamin C supplements. And what there's some research saying that vitamin C supplementations, also one of it is from this Chinese Medical Association. They endorse that using vitamin C supplementations in those patients in ICU can be. Soon after the outbreak of this COVID-19, there's also a group of researchers come up with this meta-analysis. It's kind of like a consensus to say that vitamin C actually can shorten the length of stay of patients in the ICU. But we look into the remedy. Usually they need high dose of vitamin C. Also, before that, let us understand a little bit how this vitamin C works and how it can affect our immune system. Usually, vitamin C is one of the antioxidants together with other nutrients. So they can help us to control the inflammation response in the body and to prevent the damage of any cells damage in the body. And of course, vitamin C is very important for our skin health. So like the ladies, we know that collagen is very important to maintain a youthful skin. So vitamin C also play a role in boosting the collagen's productions in the body. And innate immune system that I mentioned just now, innate immune system is the general immune system, immunity that our body has. And they also promote the growth and spread of lymphocytes. Lymphocyte is a specific immune cells that can help us to produce the antibody. So if you can see here in the box, the recommendation for this vitamin C requirement in the day is just about 70 to 95. So it's around 100 milligram per day. So if you are taking vitamin C supplements, you will know that it's very far different from our supplements. Also, most of the times, a single pill of supplements, the dosage could be at least 200 or 500, or some even go up to 1,000 milligrams. So let's look at the facts. So very soon after the research paper coming out, another group of researchers found that actually vitamin C orally. So there's no evidence to say that if we are taking high dosage of vitamin C supplements orally, as in we are taking in the forms of all the tablets, all that can help to prevent or treat COVID-19. So in fact, if you are taking too much of vitamin C, you can also get some other complications or side effects like diarrhea. So do you need supplements? So there's no any evidence to say that you need to take oral supplements of vitamin C to protect yourself from COVID-19. So if you can see from all the studies, all the research that have been published, they are using the supplements, vitamin C supplements through IV, intravenous. That means that go into the bloodstream directly. So usually in the case that require hospitalization or in the ICU. And not to forget, vitamin C is also one of the water-soluble vitamins. Our requirement is only 100 milligram, but we are taking 1000 milligram a day. The 900 milligram will pass out through your urine. That means you are wasting your money. Right. So where to get vitamin C? So the best way is to get it from our food. So usually fruits and vegetables that come in vibrant color, they are the good source of vitamin C. So if you can see here, they are easily available, especially our local fruits like guava, papaya. They are the best source of vitamin C. So just 100 grams of guava, so it's about half of the guava can provide you more than enough vitamin C in a day. So other than that, you can get it from other vegetables and other fruits as well. Okay, so we'll move on to the second nutrient, vitamin D. So that can help us to lower the risk of developing these acute respiratory tract infections. Also can be up to 75% if you are taking this vitamin D supplement. So all these research also come from the past studies during the H1N1 influenza outbreak back in 2009. And some even claims that if you are taking vitamin D supplements can help us to get rid of the flu symptoms. So how does it affect our immunity? All this while we've been taught that vitamin D is playing the role in our bone health, but not only bone health, but vitamin D also have some effects on our immunity. So they have anti-inflammation response, and also they are also regulating the immune system in the body, that they play a very crucial role to enhance the functions of our immune cells. And if there's any deficiency of vitamin D, we can also have the increased risk of respiratory disease, not only to the acute respiratory infection just now, and also other respiratory diseases like tuberculosis, asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and other viral or bacterial respiratory infections. So generally, across adults during pregnancy or elderly, our requirement for vitamin D is around 100 micrograms per day. So do we need supplements? Again, there's no studies to investigate whether vitamin D supplements or vitamin D deficiency will increase the risk of this COVID-19. Also because coronavirus, COVID-19 is still something very new. We do not have a statistic on that. But we need to make sure that we have healthy level of vitamin D in our we need supplements or not is subject to the person's health conditions. So if you are above 65 years old, you need to make sure that you have sufficient amount of vitamin D in the body. So and there's also a few studies about vitamin D levels in the body for Malaysians especially. Very surprisingly, most of us are getting not enough of vitamin D. So if you have these concerns, you can go for some foods that give vitamin D. So all these are the sources of vitamin D, especially fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardine, egg yolk is also rich in vitamin D, low-fat milk, and also mushrooms. So these are the sources that we can get vitamin D. Yeah, but aside from that, we always know that vitamin D, we call it sunshine vitamin, because vitamin D, our body can produce it to the sun 5 to 30 minutes around 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at least twice a week. So these are the parts that can help us to produce vitamin D itself. But remember, without sunscreen. So this is also the problem. Children in our country, always not getting enough vitamin D because the parents are too protective. So they always keep their child in the house. Also, don't want them to have black or darker color skin, and don't want to be too tan. And whenever we travel outdoor, we will put on sunscreen, sunblock, all that. So this is also part of the problems that we are facing because we are blocking our body, our skin to produce vitamin D. So how to get vitamin D? Also, other than the food sources, make sure you have some sun exposure. So because now we cannot go outdoor, but at least you can get some sunlight exposure. Yeah. And the next one, zinc. So zinc is a kind of minerals in the body. So why zinc? Today we are going to discuss because zinc supplementations, they've been claimed that can reduce the incidence rate of acute respiratory infections and also some flu-like symptoms. They can also shorten the durations of all these symptoms and improve the recovery. But there's also some studies, cell studies only. So they say that these zinc supplementations can help us to stop the coronavirus replication, meaning the spread of the coronavirus in the body. So zinc supplements can do so. But how does it help in the immune system? Zinc is also very important in the immune cells development, and they also play a role in the communications for the innate immunity in the body. And of course, they also have some anti-inflammatory response. So these are the recommendations for zinc. So whether it is really right, do we need zinc supplements? At the moment, we don't have any evidence to say that it can be proven to be effective to treat or prevent COVID-19 still. So do we need supplements for zinc? These supplements may offer only very small benefits because they are part of the micronutrients. The requirement is not really that high. And we shouldn't use it to replace our healthy lifestyle and our diet. So how to get zinc? How to get sufficient amount of zinc? Usually it comes from protein-rich foods and also whole grains products, nuts and seeds. So if you see here, if you're eating some meat, poultry or seafood, also you will be managed to get sufficient amount of zinc. And maybe what you can do is also snacks on some nuts and seeds. Have some beans and lentils in your diet. Nice wholemeal bread. All these will help you to get sufficient amount of zinc. So again, can I boost my immune system through diet? So the answer is we can't really boost it also through the diet. So there's no any specific food at the moment to say that it can help us to prevent us from getting COVID-19 or the coronavirus. So the best part is we need to make sure that we always practice good hygiene and practice healthy eating, so that to make sure that our immune system is always in the tip-top condition to avoid any infections, not only limited to coronavirus or COVID-19. And again, we need to make sure that we are getting enough of all the essential minerals and vitamins, especially the 3 nutrients that I mentioned just now. So if you feel that your diet is not that balanced, you might need to have some supplements, vitamin C, single bottle of vitamin D, zinc, all that. But what you can do is you can get like just something like multivitamins that will be good enough to cover your needs of all these essential nutrients, and avoid mega dose. So if you are taking a single bottles A to Z, so the chances of getting mega dosage of supplements is very high, and this can be harmful. So another question that I also get from some of my patients, will I catch COVID-19 from eating food or touching contaminated food packaging? But somehow, some of us also will get the food from like delivery, food panda, or the food delivery. So if the food delivery packagings, all that, will we get the virus? So at the moment, there's no any evidence to say that the COVID-19 or the coronavirus can be transmitted. The surface. Remember the droplets that can land on the surface of all the items that we have. So what we can do to reduce our risk is make sure that after we unpack all the food, before start eating, make sure that we clean our hands, clean all our utensils, and make sure that the hygiene at home. So remember to protect yourself. First, if you go outside to do your grocery shopping or buy the essential items for your house, make sure you wear a mask. Second, to avoid close contacts with someone that are sick. And avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. And always clean your hands. Soap with water is the best. So if you don't have that, you can use hand sanitizer. And last, if you cough or sneeze, make sure that you covered it with tissue or your sleeve. Yeah. To the stay at home condition already. So we already passed through the more than 30 days in this MCO. So what have you done so far? So I get this from the internet. I found it quite interesting. So how many of you have done it all? So the last part, so we look at some tips to support our immune health also during this outbreak. So other than we know that the vitamins, all these supplementations, the first one, we need to make sure that we are eating healthy. So try to get fresh foods instead of all the processed ones. So instant noodles, canned foods, try to minimize it, not only because they contain sodium that can raise your blood pressure, but the nutrients, also overall nutrients profile, is one of the concern. Second, balanced diet. So remember, you can use this healthy meal plate as a guide. So water that provide us protein from the meat and other like poultry, dairy products, fruits and vegetables to supply us all the other essential vitamins and minerals like vitamin C, D, and so on. So when we are at home, the time is very free. So some people will munch a lot. They feel hungry. So make sure that you have regular meal time. So try to have a small frequent meals every 4 hours and prevent overeating. So coffee, if you love coffee, not just coffee, all the rest of the caffeinated drinks, try to control the amount as well. So because too much coffee, tea, even chocolate drinks or energy drinks like Levita, Red Bull, all that can cause us to have some feelings of like restless, anxious, irritable. So limit to not more than 2 cups a day. And remember food safety as well. Sometimes if you cook your own food, remember the 2 hours rule. So make sure that All the cooked food will not stay in the room temperature for more than 2 hours because the bacteria can start multiply inside. So bacteria can harbor in all the cooked food that you leave it in the room temperature. So keep it in the fridge, but try not to keep more than 3 days. Also all these food and all the leftover foods that if you keep in fridge, when you take it out from the fridge, make sure it is reheated thoroughly before you eat. And quality sleep is very important. Sufficient good quality sleep can also make sure that our specialized immune cells, the T cells, can work properly in the body. So try to have at least 7 to 8 hours of rest a day. And be physically active. At the moment, we can't go out for any outdoor exercise, we can't go to gym, but what we can do is we try to of the immune boosting activities that we can do, like just simple stretching, or you can practice yoga, or do some exercise by streaming short like Tabata video, all that from YouTube, also to stay active. And last part, when we stay at home, we are facing, if you have kids, that maybe you are stressed because the kids need to do the tuitions through like Zoom, or you need to teach your kids on how to do their homeworks. Don't be stressed. And sometimes when we see the figures of the statistic that been increasing day by day, and another more than a week time of MCO, sometimes it can be very stressful as well. Also try to make sure that we are getting all the information from credible sources. This is also to prevent anxiety, unnecessary anxiety, especially to you yourself as well as your family. So to sum up the sharing, protect yourself by maintaining good hygiene. Second, stay healthy by make sure that you get good nutrition through your food. And the third one, maintain the food safety. So this is also part of the safety strategies. And the last one, always follow the guidance. Also, we get the credible resources, all the information from all the like our Ministry of Health and World Health Organizations, all that to prevent any unnecessary anxiety, as I mentioned just now. Okay, so before we end, we go into some Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can type it out. So before the sessions, I actually received a few questions that I put it in the slides to share with all of you as well. So the first one is, one of the participants is asking, what type of diet is suitable for cancer survivors or patients who is undertaking chemotherapy? And should we avoid taking animal sources, for example, like meat, especially like red meat, all that? Even this question is not really related to COVID-19, but I believe that this is many people's doubt, and this is kind of important for me to to explain. So I put it in the slide. So let's look at this acidic and alkaline concept. It's actually come from researchers in US. So, but after we see, actually, acidic food or alkalinity in the food, the pH of the food can actually affect only the urine pH. They will not affect our blood pH. But why we have this concept of acidic or alkaline that will affect our health? Because our blood pH is more towards alkaline. So our blood pH is around 7.35 to 7.45. So pH, we might go into trouble. So usually, for example, those patients in ICU, doctor in the ICU, intensivists, all that, they need to keep the blood pH at this narrow level of 7.35 to 7.45. Unfortunately, pH will not affect our blood pH, but they will only affect the urine pH. And therefore, cancer cells will not be affected by the urine pH as well. So how our body can maintain the blood pH? our body, especially the kidney, help us to maintain the body pH. Also by regulating all the minerals in the body. Yeah, so if your kidney functions is normal, your body will help us to maintain the optimal blood pH. So there's no any scientific evidence to say that any alkaline food can help us to boost our health, or if you're eating something acidic, they can change the pH of our blood. Back in 2017, so this one of the scientists named Dr. Robert Young, he is one of the scientists that recommend this alkaline diet. So in his book, The pH Miracle, but this he's facing jail now, also back in 2017, because he advocate these alkaline pH foods, all that, to treat cancer patients. But unfortunately, the cancer patients passed away because of following his alkaline diet. So there are also a few celebrities that following the same diet, but it was later on found that it's not really helpful. So remember, we still go back to the basics, balanced diet. So not really like we need to avoid totally on like acidic foods. We need to avoid meat. Also depends on how you take it. If you are taking vegetarian diet with a lot of like meat, all that, you might get too much of sodium from it as well. So no matter you are on normal diet with some meat, all that, make sure balance. Balance as in we try to stay away from too much of saturated fats, for example, from the fatty meats, from high cholesterol foods. Also, if you are on cancer treatment, make sure that your food are safe to eat, safe to consume. So this is the second question. Is it safe to take half-boiled or three-quarter boiled egg if the white blood cells count is low? And how many eggs can I take in a day? So if you are undergoing treatment, no matter what kind of treatment, whether it's for cancer or any other treatments that can cause your immune system is not in the good conditions, so because your body defense is not that strong, so you are at a higher risk of getting foodborne infections or foodborne illness like food poisoning. This will, the mild one will be just diarrhea or vomit, but it can be very severe as well. So if you really want to have something like hard-boiled egg, what you can consider is pasteurized egg. So if the egg is pasteurized, yeah, you can cook as a hard-boiled egg. So, and make sure safe food handlings, make sure that all the utensils is clean, and make sure, remember just now that I mentioned that 2-hour rules. If you have any leftover, do not leave it in the room temperature for too long. Discard your balance of the food if you cannot finish. So not to keep the food in your fridge for more than 3 days. Yeah? Okay, and how many eggs that you can take in a day? Before that, we know that egg yolks contains cholesterol, and many people will say that taking too much cholesterol in eggs is poorly absorbed into our body, so it will not really affect our blood cholesterol level. But to be safe, if you have diabetes or high cholesterol level, we'll still suggest you not to take more than 7 eggs per day. Yeah. Okay. So before we end, I see a few questions here. Okay, so this is from Mr. Fitri. Mentioned food should not be kept for more than 3 days in the fridge. What about frozen food? What's the maximum time frame that we should observe? Yeah, this is a very good question. So if you are short of time that you do bulk cooking at home, for example, you cook in a big batch of food that you would like to keep it for the following weeks, you can keep it in the freezer as frozen. So if the food is frozen, the risk of if you cook in bulk, you can try to pack it in a smaller containers. So just defrost the particular portion that you would like to consume at the time. So how long, how many days, or how the maximum time frame? There's no any very clear cut, but I would suggest not more than 2 weeks. So it depends on how you use your fridge. Also, if you keep on open and close, the temperature fluctuates. Also, in the freezer compartment, the temperature usually we try to keep below -10 to below to -20. So this is the temperature range. But because household freezer usually we open and close every day, so I'll suggest not to keep more than 2 weeks. Yeah. What sort of food to help boost immune system for vegetarian lifestyle? Again, so like what I mentioned just now, there's no any single food on vegetarian diet or just a normal diet. But if you are on vegetarian diet, make sure that you also have balanced meals. As in, instead of the animal protein, you need to make sure that you have vegetarian source of protein, for example, from the beans, legumes, and other like mushrooms, all that. And make sure you consume more fruits and vegetables to maintain your immune system. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I see a few more questions here. Is it okay to have red meat dish every day? Red meat, they contains good source of iron, but try to have the lean one. Or red meat refers to like pork, but try to take the lean cut of meat also instead of the fatty parts. So it shouldn't be a problem, but depends on the cooking method. So for example, we always say that cooking white meat, fish or chicken is better than red meat like beef, mutton. But if you fry your chicken compared to you just grill your meat, then the grilled one will be better. So it depends on the cooking methods and try to remove or trim off the visible fats from the red meat. Is it advisable for patients to avoid meat and sugar during cancer treatment? Many people believe in meat and sugar avoidance as deemed to encourage cancer search. Is that true? A very good questions that I always get from cancer patients as well. During cancer treatment, that is very crucial to maintain this immunity. Protein. Also, you still need to have balanced meals. So, but if you can't really take like red meat, even if your red blood cells, your hemoglobin is low, try to get it from something else. At least from, if the solid one you cannot get, you can get it from the liquid form, for example, like soya milk, low-fat milk, something like that. But not completely avoid. But red meat, as I mentioned just now, is not always bad. Also, it depends on how much you are taking and which part and the cooking method. As long as you make sure that you do healthy cooking and make sure that you trim off the unhealthy fat, the fatty layers of the meat, then shouldn't be a problem. And again about sugar, some of us thought that sugar can actually cause the cancer cells growth, but cancer cells actually, compared with the normal cells, they are about the same. Every single cells in the body, the healthy cells, we have a mechanisms in the DNA, RNA, all that to control the growth. So they will have a control over there when to stop growing. But cancer cells lost the mechanism. That is why they keep on growing, duplicate, multiply in the body. And the growth cannot be stopped. So, but taking sugars will not cause us to have increase in cancer cell or cause cancer cell growth or that, but make sure that you are taking in the right portions. During cancer treatments, when you have lots of side effects, for example, you have no appetite to eat, taking some sugary drinks, juices, all that shouldn't be a problem. But when after your treatment, when you'll be able to eat well, make sure that you reduce the simple sugar intake. For COVID positive that recovered from treatment, what's also the same. After the infections, the coronavirus will not stay in the body forever. So they are not like HIV, all that. So they are just like normal flu, influenza. So we still need to make sure that we go back to the normal diet, maintain your good health by doing exercise, sufficient amount of sleep or rest, and make sure that you have balanced meals also to maintain your healthy immune system. If we keep to the amount of required vitamin C or D, what about its absorption into our body? Will it all be fully absorbed? Yeah, so my suggestions is, especially for water-soluble vitamins, we do not need to get it in mega dose. For example, vitamin C, vitamin other than vitamin A, D, E, and K, the rest are the water-soluble vitamins. The water-soluble vitamins, our body cannot be absorbed, they will pass out. So, but if we are getting enough, for sure our body needs it, they will absorb. What sort of vitamin or mineral intake to help in a good night's sleep? Okay, well, very good questions. There's no any specific vitamins or minerals that can help us to get good night's sleep. There's many research to say that certain minerals will help on it, but if you have insomnia or any problems with sleep, make sure that you won't take too much of like caffeinated drinks, especially nighttime. And maybe what the activities that you do at night is also very important. So if you scroll Facebook all that before your bedtime, too excited that you cannot sleep, so you might need to stop it maybe half an hour before your sleep. Also, there's no any specific minerals or vitamins that you need to take before bed to get. C is 500 mg, and the recommended intake for adult is 70 mg. Does it mean that my body will only absorb 70 and the rest will go to waste? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, it is. But there's also some research saying that this higher dosage of vitamin C, higher than our usual requirement, around 70, in a certain time when you have these flu-like symptoms. For example, you feel that you are going to get flu, that's why you take a pill of vitamin C in 500 mg, can help us to ease the symptom. So, but I would suggest that try not to take it on daily basis, or you can take it as like alternate days. It will be much helpful. So at least to cover our needs, because sometimes we might not get enough of vitamin C from just fruits, or it depends, because vitamin C, they are antioxidants and they can be degraded very fast. So for example, if you buy the fruits from the fruit store that in container for long, the vitamin C content might lose. And also, for example, like vegetables, during the heat cooking process, some of the vitamin C also will lose. So alternate days of vitamin C supplements, I think is best, better than you are taking a high dosage daily. Do you believe in using fruits and vegetables? Do you think eating the whole fruits and vegetables better than juicing? Yeah, certainly getting the whole fruits and vegetables will be better compared to juicing. Why I say so? Because when we get fruits, we are not just getting the nutrients, antioxidants, or that, but we also want the fiber, the dietary fiber from fruits and vegetables. But when you make it into juice, usually we will discard all the pulp. So all these pulps are the one that rich in fiber. Even if you use slow juicer, the difference is just that slow juicer can help us to retain the heat generating during the blending process or juicing process. But no matter how, we still discard a certain amount of the fiber. So get it from whole fruits and vegetables will be better. But of course, if you find it difficult for you to get to eat whole fruits, you can start with juicing. Also, to get used to the taste of the raw vegetables and fruits first before you go for the whole one. Oh, okay, thank you, Redney. Okay, another question. What do you think of selenium? Is it advisable to take it for cancer patients? Again, selenium that I didn't cover today actually is also one of the crucial minerals that play a very important role in our immune system. But honestly, also the same, we do not have a very solid cancer patients or to prevent any infections. So, but somehow in clinical conditions, we use selenium-rich these like drinks, all that, and supplements for a certain group of patients, especially those with wound, because selenium play a very important role in the wound healing. But the rest, we will not really suggest you to have a single nutrient supplement like selenium or that. Okay, another one. A lot of people try to sell Cajun water, alkaline water, any good for us? My suggestion is do not waste your money on that. Yeah, like what I mentioned just now, whether like alkaline food or alkaline water, even they sell it in a very expensive filter, all that, right? It will not really affect our this blood pH. Also, blood pH will be only affected by other body conditions when our other pH. So don't waste the money on that. COVID-19 positive patients after recovery, will they relapse? This is still a doubt, I would say, because we do heard some news about these relapse cases in other countries, especially like China or that. But in Malaysia, we do not have this kind of cases. But very hard to say that is because it depends on our personal hygiene. So if recovered patients from the disease that been discharged and go back to the home and they didn't practice good personal hygiene, and if the surroundings have someone with COVID-19 and spreading the droplets around, the chances of getting relapse is high. But it also depends on the particular person's immune system. So if after discharge from the hospital, it didn't go back to a healthy lifestyle or healthy diet, the immune system is not in the good conditions, the chances of getting the second infections or relapse is that you normal tap water, the cool water will be better than other types of water. So we not really need to have very expensive water filter to have like alkaline water or specific RO water, but the basic like water filter that can help us to filter off all the those all that is sufficient. But make sure that we cool our tap water. Will taking vitamin C supplements causes upset stomach and gastritis? Yes, it is. If too much of vitamin C supplements can actually cause upset stomach and even diarrhea. And what is the dosage recommended to avoid stomach over acidity? Vitamin C supplements will not cause stomach acidity, but I will suggest we try to keep it as our recommended dosage around 70 to 100 a day, 100 mg per day. Okay, another question. Can survivor take ginseng? Will it help cancer cells to grow? Again, the same concept as like sugar and other nutrients. Cancer cells also will continue to grow with other nutrients. So no matter you are on any supplements, I would suggest you need to talk to your oncologist, especially something like these like Chinese herbs. If it is in like pill form, powdered form, a very concentrated form, like no matter it's Chinese medicine or any traditional medicine. So because some of these might have other effects, for example, effects in the body. So if your body's conditions or vitamin K or other nutrients in the body, the cells in the body is not working, the tip-top conditions, you will have other side effects. So that's oncologist before you start any specific supplement. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Fitri. Another question. Is having organic food really more beneficial than non-organic? A very good question. Organic food, yeah, to be honest, in Malaysia, we don't have a very strict regulations on so-called organic food. We don't have a standard to say that how to be called as organic. Highland, you will know that the organic farms is just next to the non-organic one. So how are we sure that all the non-organic things will flow into the soil of the organic farms, right? So there's no any regulations on that. And there's a lot of studies to say that organic food and non-organic foods, the nutrient profile is very similar. So, but if you were too worried about like whether you are getting any heavy metals, or if you are too worried about getting other side effects from getting non-organic food, and if you can afford, yes, you can go for the organic one, but it is not compulsory. So of course we try to stay away from all those like GMOs products, yeah, and the rest, whether organic or not, the nutrients is still about the same. So we still back to the basic, make sure that you have balanced meal. Thank you, Tony. Okay. So
okay. Yeah, Verona, we thank you so much for so much of information that you have fed us this evening. I think we are very full in our brain as well. Yeah, so I think we do not have further questions, right? More of thank you. Yeah, so we have a lot to absorb this evening, and we know that we have to continue to eat healthy and prepare our body to have better defense system facing any kind of infection. Even though you did say that we can't really depend on food to boost ourselves so much in terms of immunity, right? But we still can eat healthily to prepare ourselves better. Am I correct to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So lastly, I just want to thank everyone as well for coming to join us this evening. If you have any questions, do feel free. Try to help you to find the answers through our dietitian and any other specialized field. Yeah. So everyone keep safe, stay home, and continue to eat healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.